Hey there, this is Jeffrey Fade again with Dads Unlocked, and today I'm moving on in the sequence of how to build your perfect personalized lifestyle as a dad with a first child in the 1 to 2 year old range, beginning toddler stage. Today, March 3rd, 2020, we are going to talk about starting with the end in mind. The last episode was about intention and being intentional with the actions you take within your life, just in general, with a lot of examples. So today, it's sort of the same concept in a way of starting with the end in mind. So if you're going to start something, know where you're going, and instead of just moving in a direction, take that end, work backwards, and come up with what you're going for next, as well as the step after that, and the step after that, and the step after that. So you don't get lost and you don't, I like to use one of my favorite words, obviously, is meandering. I've said it like 4 times now. But that's what you end up doing without having definitive steps to get from one place to another. Some regular day-to-day examples. I like to use examples because sometimes you have to think kind of hard to come up with new concepts in your head, and models are an easy way to do that. And a simple model is just everyday stuff that exemplifies what I'm talking about. So a couple of examples are reading a book. There's an end to a book, and there are chapters that get you from one point to another, to another, to another. But if you have an end, you're going to finish the book, and you don't really have to work that hard to figure out how to get there because it sort of takes you there. But maybe a better example is cooking a meal. So you may have a recipe. If you don't have a recipe, but you do know where you're going, and you figure out, oh, well, in order to do that, I have to do this first, and I have to do this next, and coming up with your own recipe, I guess, is the best example of that in that scenario. But maybe even if you do have an end in mind and you plan this back, you won't reach that end because maybe the third step you realize, or as you're going backwards, maybe the second or third step that you create, you realize this is not where I want to go. So it's good to think these things through before you even start them. Now, the reason this really helps is because it gives you a short-term goal to start with. So if you see this ending that you want, it feels like 1,000 years away or 100 miles away or whatever it's going to take to get there. It gives you some short-term stepping stones to get there because you know what the path is already, which also helps because then you maybe can realize how long the path is or how short the path is. Really, usually what it is, it's how short it is, depending on what you're looking at, of course. One practical tip around this is that everybody has something they want to change in their life, right? I mean, you don't have to look very far. There are different aspects of everyone's life, and there's always something you want to change. You want to change your relationships, you want to change your health, you want to change your job, you want whatever. There's always something you want to change. And instead of saying you want to change something, figure out where that end is. Figure out your goal, your final step, and then work backwards from there. Begin at the end and work backwards. That's basically it. So either live with intention or work with the end in mind. They both get you to the same place. And it gives you a path for that to get to that place. So there are some good starting blocks. I wanted to make sure that if intention did not click for a lot of people, and that word maybe is linked to something in your head or in your past or something like that, give you another option to think about. So we'll move on to more action-oriented steps in the next couple pieces. But that's where we want to start, is figuring out where we want to go, and maybe that we don't want to go there before we even start. That's all for now. And again, leave a comment, yell at me, say that I completely screwed it up or that I don't understand what the heck you're talking about. Whatever you want to say, leave a comment or send me an email. It's Jeffrey@dadsunlock.com, and I really hope this is valuable, and I'll talk to you in the next one.